By way of introduction, I'm Annie Ross. I am one of the Greener Henley representatives on the school on the call today, and I'm one of the volunteers. You'll hear from me, Kate. If we go on to the next slide on the agenda, you'll hear from me in terms of the introduction to what we're here to do today. And from Chris Hurst, who some of you may know, he's another one of our volunteers. You'll get used to it. Most of us are volunteers as a school advisor. And then we are very happy to have with us today Tim Hoskins and Catherine Darnton of Badgemore Primary and Gillotts, respectively, to storytell some of the work they've done. The main feature, though, is for us to sort of celebrate all of the work you've done and to introduce you to where Greener Henley, based on the work we've done with you already, is looking to go in the future with you. And that is to present to you the Green Futures Awards. And this is something you can take part in. It's a structure that we hope will work. So if we go, Kate, to the next slide, we will spend some time on this. So here, I think that quite a few of you will know the Greener Henley kind of, well, it's a brand name, but the brand name around the community. It's got a few pillars of work, but one of the ways that the organization's been structured as a charity is with schools at the centre of much of the work we do. You'll be familiar with the science fairs, and we've got one of those coming up in a few weeks, so we'll talk about that at the end, with the environmental challenge that happens in summer term, and with some of the work that's been done in terms of online events, as well as campaigns. What we want to keep as part of the work we're going forwards is that element of community. And so what we're trying to do is bring that together in a way that we can share in successes, learn from the challenges, and provide each other that support network that we need to stay strong. We're very aware of all the different challenges you have across different pillars of your work, and Chris will bridge some of those in a minute. What the awards is, and you'll see bronze, silver, gold at the top, is a tiered structure, a program that we've designed with consultation across some of the schools, the trustees of Greener Henley, and a few of the leading initiatives around the country to structure how we hope you will be able to join, firstly in with the action, which is the bronze, and then move through as you start to take more action, provide the evidence of that, and then through to gold, where we really see you as leading the way and championing the cause. Resilience is at the heart of what we do. And perhaps, Chris, I hand over to you with some of the benefits. Kate, if we could go back a slide just before we go too deep into the tiers. But Chris, if you could talk us through some of the benefits that you see and how they tie into what we know is important to schools, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you very much. I can see so many of you have joined from so many different schools around Henley, and thank you very much for giving your time. I know that this is not easy to fit in with your day-to-day jobs. I retired as a head teacher in August 2024, and I wanted to put something back. So I am a STEM ambassador for climate change, and I have a lot of resources that I can use to help you to achieve your aims in almost whatever you want to do within reason. So that's on the collaboration side and the support. The action side I can probably help you with as well, because I have time on my hands. So if you become stuck on something, I have a fair few contacts, and I'm quite happy to shake the tree, as it were, to try and get things moving for you. Um, and yeah, I think from my perspective, it's really nice to get you all together, that we can actually all talk about what we're doing or we intend to do, and then share. Because sometimes you do feel quite alone in what you're doing, but don't be alone. And I'm just trying to think about how I can put my contact details on there without being flooded. But as a STEM ambassador, I work for free. So, my name's Chris Hurst. I'm ex-head teacher from Sonington Primary School. Um, Before that, I was head teacher at Brill. You can ask me any questions about sustainability and climate change, and the biggest one for any head teachers on the call is how you can save money by doing this. It's a well worth investment. And if you're a business manager, it's probably worth to have a conversation with me as well, because I think it could probably save you a few pennies, which is why I really got invested in it, as well as climate change, because it meant that I could spend more money on the children, as well as having lots of fun outside. Is that okay, Annie? Does that help things along?
Absolutely perfect. And I think Chris is a really good example of the kind of help we want to be able to bring you. We're conscious that the action will sit with you, but hopefully with the expertise that Greener Henley can bring together and the consolidated asks that we can, by hearing more from you about the challenges that you cannot overcome alone, through Kate's work, the trustees, will be able to put that voice to other people who can help as well, whether that's the funding needs or support from Oxfordshire County Council and things like that. So we do plan on bringing these resources to you, and really bring that benefit of community, celebration, progress. And with that, perhaps I'll get on to the tiered structure so that you can really imagine what this is. As I said, this bronze is about getting involved. It's hopefully what all of you can step into straight away. It's to connect and communicate. So there's a lot of things out there. We know that most of you have someone who's already thinking about this stuff and leading the charge in your school. So think about whether that person is the right point of contact, but that's an element to start with. And then we encourage you and will support you in celebrating those wins, and the progress you've made. So if there's been a small win, we encourage you to shout about it on social media, through your newsletter. Sustainability can sometimes feel like a hard thing to talk about, but we know you're doing great things and want to celebrate those. And then Greener Henley's creating lots of things that we hope will connect you with for your staff, for the community, the parents, and for the pupils. So we hope to be able to make life a bit easier for you in that sense. So this is the overview on the slide now in terms of bronze, silver, and gold. Behind the scenes, and we'll send this to you first thing tomorrow morning, we have a full terms of reference that talks through these in detail and already starts to give you lots of resources. What we want is a sense of curiosity in this, rather than thought of berating yourself for not having done things. It's very much a together thing. So bronze is where you start. Some of you might see some of the aspects of silver and think we're doing quite a lot of those things already, and we know you are, and we designed this so that there is a sense of progress through it. Taking action and preparing. So silver is about the fact that you've done some things and you're preparing for what leadership looks like in gold. With silver, we'd assume you're doing and evidencing the bronze. And then it's about showing how pupils are getting involved in the things you're doing. And as I said, got lots of different ideas already baked into the documentation we can give afterwards. It's about creating wildlife-friendly spaces. Those can be on-site, ideally, but we can also think about how to help you with off-site opportunities as well. It's about integrating sustainability in lessons. In some areas of Key Stage 2 and 3, there are elements of the curriculum that easily bake this in, and so we'd like to hear how you're doing that, again, so we can learn, grow, and share with others that may be struggling a bit more. Estimating your carbon footprint is one of the segues towards the climate action plan. And so having a sense of that baseline and navigating some of the challenges, it's one of Chris's favourite topics at the moment, is something we hopefully, we think quite a lot of these things you'll be doing anyway, because you're mandated to, because you want to. And we're hopefully offering up a way to make it a bit easier so that you're not alone and we move faster together to address some of the key challenges that we know are going on in the global domain, but also local to Henley and our future generations. The last one of silver that we would like to see is the planning for climate resilience. So this is recognising the continuity of education in the face of climate change, in the face of surface flood water, of heat. It's about making sure that the buildings and the way that you're teaching are fit for purpose, and we really want to help you get to a place where you're adapting to those so you're comfortable and know that you can face the challenges that lie ahead. The tricky thing for all of us is that getting to silver means having done all of those things. So those of you that will end up having a silver in the first year, and picture where you are today, will have evidence of each of those things. It's ambitious, and we are trying to be a leading community in this and to be able to share what Henley's doing with schools and communities, not just nationwide, but internationally. We know that this is something important. So it is a challenge. Once you've got all of silver, well, bronze and silver, you get that silver award. And by award, what we mean is the acknowledgement, the ability to share that in your school, newsletter, online, digitally, as an accolade for the work you've done. Um, and hopefully we will be able to showcase those stories and bring you the opportunities that help with the school's success as well, whether that's funding or marketing of the school. For gold, we really see this, as I said, as the leading. So leading the way. It's about keeping evolving, but also starting to feed back into that progress for the rest of the network. So here you've got this bronze and silver plus climate action plan in place. Many of you will have those as a deadline for the end of the year. We're here to help. We know they aren't always the simplest to bring everything together into one place, but we will try and signpost as many resources as we can as possible. Advanced pupil engagement is really taking it to the next step in terms of, rather than just the participation element in silver, it's about pupils leaning in, some pupil-led activities. And again, we've got lots of ideas baked into the documents you'll get after this call. And then it's about promoting the green careers in climate education, which is, it's school assemblies, it's bringing parents in, it's leveraging the STEM ambassadors, young climate warriors, and about giving opportunities to staff to upskill where they want to as well. And then lastly, the last one builds on that silver, the bottom element of the silver of planning for climate resilience, to really build that into your risk planning. So have that baked into the way, have processes across the key risks that you've assessed for your school. So that is the awards, bronze, silver, gold. What we'll pause now for you to reflect on that is to listen to Tim from Badgemore give a bit of a summary of where they've been on their journey. And Catherine, please do follow on straight away from Tim. I don't need to come back in the middle.
Thank you, Annie. That's really nice of you to say that. Welcome, everyone. It's a real privilege to be able to share with you today. We're in a position at Badgemore where we've done a lot of things to promote environmental issues, sustainability. But to be honest, we're also at a place now where we're kind of plateauing, and in some areas we're going backwards a bit. And seeing the climate awards excites me because it really suits us for, I know it will make a big difference to us. It will give us a direction and guidance about going forward. So that's my initial thought. I just want to say, from our experience, the best information I can share with you is that every step, every small thing you do matters. You don't have to come into this thinking, okay, I've got to make all of these different changes. It's about making small changes to start with. And that could be, I'm sure many of you have got this already, but that could be simply making sure you've got recycling bins, make sure you've got food waste bins in classrooms, make sure you're doing litter picks. But it's not starting off big. It's about starting small and succeeding in that area. And then what's really great to know is that whilst we are making a difference in the classrooms or in the school, it's important to remember actually that we then make a difference in the homes, because our children go home and they start talking about the difference with the home situation. And then you also have, hopefully the children, they're going to take that approach on in the future as they get older. So it definitely start small, get those things right. And that success then breeds more success as well. So yeah, and also it's really important to get buy-in. You can't do this by yourself. You can't be making a change in your school so big all by yourself, because you need the children involved. And that's quite easy. Our curriculum lends itself to that. Get the children involved, get the parents involved. They hear about this all the time. It's really important for them to see the success of the school, but also get the staff involved. You need them to be supporting you along the way. You can't do this by yourself. Get everyone involved and start small, breed success from that, and then move forwards. Some of the challenges we've overcome, and I guess this is what I said at the beginning, is about maintaining impetus. When you've got the right staff in place, they can lead on different projects and they can push it forwards. But as soon as staff change, we've lost impetus in some areas, and that's been our challenge. I think because of that, as I said, these Greener Henley Awards will make a real difference to us. They give us that guidance, and they give us the direction of what to do. What's also really special about it is that it is local. So these are things that are relevant to us within the Henley area, but also because it's local, we can turn to people and talk to them face to face and say, look, help us with this. My day's been really, really busy. I've been teaching, I'm running around doing different things. There's lots of things that I can't do. It's great to be able to call on someone from Greener Henley and just say, please help me with this. Can you give me an example of how other people do this? And so the support from Greener Henley is going to make a huge difference too. I think that's all I have to say at this point, unless there's anything else I can add.
I'll pick up from there. I'm sure people ask some questions later, Tim. I'm Catherine Darlington. I'm head teacher of Gillotts. I have some similar thoughts to Tim. Inevitably, I think when we got started on thinking about this, it did just seem a really, really huge thing to do, and I guess probably one of those things where we think to ourselves, an awful lot is being asked of schools, and maybe there isn't the support at the national level that you'd really like to see. And there's no doubt there are some things that are really, really difficult for us to do without a lot of money. So one of those for me that's very live, obviously having had the summer term we had this year, is protecting the buildings from extreme heat. Our buildings were not built to withstand extreme heat, and probably to rectify that is absolutely huge. But I think the most important thing to do is to kind of step back from that and say, okay, well, just because I can't do the really huge thing doesn't mean that I can't do some things. And so you can continue to want to campaign for school capital investment in school buildings that of a decent level, but that doesn't stop you doing something for yourself. I found starting the climate action plan quite daunting too. But we've got a sort of, I'm not sure it's a beautifully tidy plan, but we've kind of got a sort of rather roving document, which has taken things from what the DFE were talking about, how you might structure it, taken things from how Greener Henley was suggesting it. And then we just tried to capture everything that we do already or are nearly doing already, so that we could really think to ourselves, okay, it's not that we're doing nothing. We do have recycling bins, there are definitely, we do have sustainability topics inside the curriculum. We have thought quite hard about careers, and therefore thinking about green careers is not a particularly big step. So that's been really positive. And of course, for me, it's that as well. It's that thing where you say, I don't know quite what to do about this, and then other people in school say, oh, I think I've got something to bring to that. And so we've actually got a group of us who work on it. And particularly would name check Alison Michael, who's a teacher of science and a governor, but also a tremendous supporter of Greener Henley. So find your Alison would definitely be one of my tips. We've obviously lent on the work of Greener Henley quite a lot, but there is DFE guidance out there, and things like, so one of the things that's on my to-do list and not done yet is a school travel plan. And there's somebody in Oxfordshire County Council whose job it is to help schools do school travel plans. And so she's really keen to meet you. She actually wants to help you because that's her purpose in life, is to do that. So there is definitely stuff out there. We're part of a multi-academy trust. They've got a sustainability agenda and resources as well. So, there are lots and lots of people who are really interested in this. And one I might mention, we've got our Parents Association really interested in this. And so whilst we don't know exactly what we're going to do with it, but they have committed that the funds that they are raising to support the school this year will go towards initiatives that help with our climate action plan, which broadly will be things around making the most of our amazing site for our young people. So it really dovetails really nicely. So that means I now might actually have some money. I mean, they've bought us beautiful benches and shelters and all sorts in the past. So again, something that we can really build on. And I think I'm going to echo Tim really. One of the things I've been a head teacher in Henley for a long time, but it's the first time I've ever worked in a small town. And I just think Henley is so amazing that there are so many different resources, whether it's sports clubs or Henley Educational Trust, who actually really want to help schools and are here and full of volunteers who give their time to do that. And one of the things that makes that really work for us is that, it's not somebody, I don't just get an email in my inbox saying we're going to do this at 10:30 on Thursday, somebody will say, well, what time of day would be helpful? How does that work for you in terms of school? Is it easier for us to come to you or you come to us? It's that ability to work really closely with people that makes it genuinely an opportunity and not another thing to shoehorn into the many things we're trying to juggle. And so that there is something, the localism of that, but also but the way that builds real links that are meaningful and actually make the work have much greater impact than if it was being, I mean, it's done with, not done to, I guess is what I'm saying. So exciting times. Got a picture here. This is a really extraordinary win for us. So we actually put a bid into the Walton Foundation because we needed to refurbish 2 science labs, which are our last 2 labs that hadn't been refurbished since they were built in 1970 or something. It was really clear from there. We're not generally good at bids, but it was really clear from them. My senior science technician led this. Very clear they wanted a hook, something to make it exciting. So we put a hook on it, which was to have a living wall with some solar panels to power some electronic microscopes and some fans to cool the rooms. And I think the greener slant on that, the sustainability slant, is probably what got us the money. So we got the labs, but we've also got this living wall. And this is actually when it was first put in. It's now all covered and it looks absolutely fantastic. It has an irrigation system so that we can't kill them all immediately. But it's really brilliant because it's right in the center of the school. And so every time I look at it, I think, no, sustainability is possible. You know, we've done this. So and we would never have ever dreamed that we would get something as beautiful as this in the middle of our slightly dated school. So it's a great journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you, Catherine. And hopefully for everyone that brings it all to life about why it's all worth it, for that sense of achievement. I'll round up quickly so that we've got time for any questions. Please do put them in the chat as I speak, or get ready to raise your hand. What are the next steps? They are to hopefully register your school for the awards. I will drop a link in to the chat just now, which is the Google form, which talks you through the terms of reference, which has more details on all those bronze, silver, gold elements that I talked about, so you can start thinking about it. Really, the quicker you can get going with us, the quicker we can help you. In that form, you provide details. After that, we'll be able to confirm your first award and get going. Progression then will happen on an annual basis. It will allow you to prioritize that action, and then we will, in the summer term, ask for how you're doing. We'll have spoken, I hope, several times in between now and then, but then we'll hopefully be starting to move schools up through the ranks there. And then recognition, it's about making sure that you are celebrating those wins yourself and then letting us know so that we can amplify them for you. So you know who your school's team is. On the next slide, you've got me, who's doing the sort of the coordination of all these different pieces, Chris, who you've met today, Diana, who I hope many of you know, and Kate as well, who have been core members of the Greener Henley team, and then Georgia, our school's admin assistant. And Diana and Georgia are particularly important because the next event we've got is the Environmental Science Fair, which is happening on the 12th of November. And tomorrow is the date they've set schools for registering their attendance. So if anyone is thinking about it, and we've got really good signups already, and we hope that anyone who's on the fence will be in touch with Georgia and Diana about that. Either of the emails at the bottom of the screen works, but the one on the right is the one for the fastest action. So with that, I'd like to say welcome, we hope, to the awards when you make the decision. But really that bronze thing is very inclusive, and we want as many of you as possible. So over to the floor for the last 5 minutes, because we do only want to take up half an hour of your time today for any questions.